Hello everyone, welcome to Raw vs. Wrestling for the Monday Night Raw episode on January 2nd, 2012. And I'm going to keep this short because I haven't been doing reviews recently because I went home for the holiday seasons and I had no camera, makes for no reviews. And for this one, I'm going to stick to the three main points on Monday Night Raw. I'm going to start off with the John Cena and Kane storyline. Obviously, they have Kane going for the trying to make John Cena embrace the hate instead of trying to rise above it. I do kind of like that. It does give you a different aspect, and of course, since the return with the return of Kane, having Kane in the mask was also a good idea as well for that aspect. And just the promos that Kane does deliver, it almost seems like they're bad promos, but in the way he delivers them in the slow talking manner that he typically does, it actually makes it work out better than what it actually is in the end. Because Kane's never been all that great on the mic, but the slow talking, more maniacal type talking that he's been doing actually does kind of work for the situation that he's in with John Cena. Obviously, this is going to lead to a match, and it led to somewhat of a match later that night. It was supposed to be a six-man elimination match with Big Show, John Cena, and Zack Ryder versus Kane, Jack Swagger, and Mark Henry. That match itself, pretty much Kane did not come out. It ended up being the handicap match with just Swagger and Henry versus the other three. Big Show and Mark Henry eliminated each other by disqualification, and then John Cena and Zack Ryder just dispatched Zack Ryder or Jack Swagger after that. After the match, you get the whole bit. Kane's music goes out. John Cena goes up to the rampway, and I like the aspect that he was trying to get his buddy. He tried to get Zack Ryder and drag him under the ring after he came out from under there, and I did like that because it showed an aspect of trying to get in John Cena's head, and it actually ended up working in my mind on that one. So that was a good segment. I'm going to go off to the next one, which is the CM Punk and Dolph Ziggler storyline that's obviously going to be continuing. They had a pretty good match on Raw, and they did and once again they did the whole bit, turnbuckle pad comes off. It looks like CM Punk's going to win. John Laurinaitis is distracting the referee, trying to get him to put the turnbuckle pad back on and everything, trying to seem like he's doing something to make sure the match stays legal. And this leads to eventually CM Punk getting himself knocked out of the ring, knocking himself a little bit loopy, and getting counted out, giving another victory to Dolph Ziggler. This was obviously announced also, obviously is going to lead into another match for the WWE Championship. They're going to do it at the Royal Rumble, and they're going to put John Laurinaitis in as special guest referee. The promo that they put back, the match itself was good. Never really care much for the count out victory, but it works for this case to keep the storyline going. The backstage promo that they did with John Laurinaitis and CM Punk was actually pretty good, mostly on Punk's behalf, because Punk is extremely well in getting his point across. And the way that they did, and of course when it was made that John Laurinaitis was the guest referee, he basically told him that David Otunga would actually become good use because he's going to beat him down if he screws him out of the title. Now, and that's not in the exact words that he said, but that's pretty much the gist of what was said there. The promo came off extremely well, and I felt that it was a good aspect and a good little tidbit to the storyline. Eventually, I guess Laurinaitis and Punk will actually get in the ring at some point on that, but we'll see where the actual storyline goes. And now I'm going to go off, and the last part that I want to talk about was the January 2nd promos that have been going on recently. It was obviously leading to the return of someone, and a lot of people were pretty much right. It was Chris Jericho. And this return, basically just had him come out and pander to the crowd, say nothing, and leave. Now, I'm going to go off and say this. That's perfect. That's the perfect way to bring Jericho back in. Because they knew Jericho was going to get cheered right away. What better way to make him become a heel by going out there and disappointing all the fans? It's the best way to get him to become a heel again. He's obviously going to be a heel. They're bringing him in not to be going up against a face character. They're kind of, or go up against heel characters. He's obviously coming back in as a heel. Maybe he'll come back out next week as the character that he was when he left, which was the suit wearing and just talking down to everybody. Who knows what they're going to actually do? But the way to make him a heel, because you obviously heard the boos when he left the arena without saying a word to anybody out there. I think this was perfect. It was a great way to bring him back in, and in a small way, not really, but the whole end of the world as you know it type deal that they've been putting on these promos, that kind of is somewhat true, because it's all, or at least end of the world for Jericho, because he always says something when he's out there, regardless of if he was heel character or face character. He's always saying something. He goes out there, says nothing, and leaves. I kind of like the return aspect on that. I liked where they went with it. I think they're going to be bringing on this is a good way to make him a heel. It gets he got the cheers that he was going to get by just coming out. Now they're bringing him into a heel aspect sooner rather than later, because a lot of times so many of them, when they return, they get this big pop. They go a couple months as face, then they switch over to heel. They're trying to do it right away, and I like it. Overall, pretty good Raw. A lot of the extra matches that were in there were extremely well done, building the storylines going into the SmackDown, and overall, pretty much the first Raw of the year came off pretty good in my mind. I don't know how everyone else thinks. Those are just my own personal opinions about it. And I thank you guys for watching this episode of Raw vs. Wrestling.